Hello, everyone. Welcome to Success Network with Rushil. Today, we have with us Aradhita Maheshwari, who is an MBBS and is now pursuing MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. Welcome, Aradhita.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
So, let's carry on with the very first question that I am very excited to know about you. So, can you tell us a bit about your journey from MBBS to IIM Ahmedabad?
So basically, when I entered medicine only, bachpan se I had a little bit of fascination about an MBA. So my dad has done an MBA. So I had a little bit of a fascination with the degree, but because I like biology, so after the 12th standard, I decided कि नहीं मुझे MBBS ही करना है. And then during MBBS, it so happened that I found a certain field, a certain branch where I felt that I don't want to work as a clinical practitioner in this branch, but I actually want to start my own business, maybe, or like do something on the business side of things, combining this. So then that whole MBA thing came back again, and I decided ki, because when you exit a field like medicine, you don't have any idea about say finance, marketing, XYZ. So MBA seemed like the right decision. And of course, IIM Ahmedabad was like a by chance thing. Like when I gave my CAT exam, I had just decided that I want to get into the top 10 or top 20 colleges in the country. But it so happened that I got through IIM Ahmedabad, and yeah, here I am studying.
Okay, that's inspiring. You have at least some vision for going into IIM Ahmedabad. It's really awesome to know that. What's the most valuable lesson or skill that you have gained during your time at IIM Ahmedabad?
So, in terms of lesson, firstly, I would say one of the important things is that I need to have a strong support system around me. So, I am Ahmedabad, whatever we say, like compared to medicine, MBA is not like that difficult, but in general, it's not easy also. It's quite strenuous, quite hectic. And first year was very, very, very difficult for me because I came from a very different background and every single subject was new. Plus, you go through all of that placement season stress, and in general, it's a lot to handle. So I realized that it's so important to have a very strong support system. So, of course, my family has always been there. I'm very close to my parents. And apart from that, but I found some very, very good friends and very good people over here, who were there always to help me and who I could rely on when like things got very difficult. And if we talk about skill, I think skill wise, I was an introvert before coming here in general. Introvert, as in, I have hated phone calls all my life. I don't like picking up the phone, speaking to people, and I like run away from interactions. But after coming to an MBA, you realize that you have to speak to people, may it be in person, may it be on call, on Zoom call, whatever. So, in that aspect, I've opened up quite a lot. I'm very comfortable now as compared to earlier, and say, holding a conversation with people or just, picking up the phone and like getting whatever work needs to be done. So, yeah, these are the two things I would say.
Wow, that's really nice. I love the fact that you have got good friends who have supported you throughout your journey of IIM Ahmedabad. I think I have also got some great friends, so kudos to them. And what role do you think academic institutions like IIM Ahmedabad play in shaping global leaders and change makers?
Oh my God. So this is, I think, a very heavy question. So firstly, I think most people come to an MBA with the purpose of getting placed. This is something I didn't know before coming. I thought ki it's like a lot about learning and, just growing, but it's a lot about the placements. And I understand it because we pay a very hefty fees and a lot of people take a lot of loan for it. So that placement is necessary. But besides that placement, if somebody actually comes in with, a mindset to maybe learn and grow beyond that, then these kind of institutions, I think they help you look at problems with very different perspectives. They open up your mind to a lot of other possibilities. And I think if you also sit in class and like see those case studies and all those real life stories in a certain different manner, you can also gain that little courage to take a risk in your own life, maybe do something beyond the placement. And also, we hear a lot of examples about helping others and like doing something for the good of society, which maybe not at the stage that people actually pass out from MBA would do it. But 20 years down the line, when people have enough in their life and they're actually settled, maybe then it'll come back to you and you'll be like, okay, now maybe I can go ahead and do something which is for a greater purpose. So apart from the institution, which of course we hear stories, case studies, class discussions about a lot of things beyond the basic job and the basic just surviving. It's also about how receptive the individual is in the class and how they can take what they've learned in the future and use it.
Wow. I never thought about it from that angle. Thanks for giving me that perspective. Okay, so under the exchange program of IIM Ahmedabad, you studied at the world's first business school, that is ESCP Paris. How was your experience there?
So I didn't know it was for world's first business school. I just knew that it's a very greatly acclaimed and ranked business school. So I would say two things. Obviously, everything has its pros and cons. So talking about the good thing first. So like when we are sitting in an MBA classroom in India, you have obviously diversity in terms of academic backgrounds, engineers, lawyers, CAs, etc. and geography, which is from within India. But when you go to a business school abroad, and I think especially ESCP has a very strong focus on international diversity, the amount of different perspectives and different views and different kind of personalities that you meet is really eye-opening. Like, I didn't expect people to be so different. In class also, just like few things, like you could see that the Germans were very like rule focused and the Asians were a little timid, and there's a little bit of a more assertive thing in the people who come from the US. So just to see how actually all of those personalities and how all of those value systems pan out together, I had not imagined that people could be so different before I went there. And in terms of one of the things which was a little disappointing, I think I have been a little too harsh on IIM Ahmedabad. When I came here, I had very high expectations about the teaching standards, and not all professors are absolutely incredible. But when I went there, I realized that what we have here is like so good. I have never been like grateful enough for it. So I think the teaching was a little bit disappointing. Of course, I'm talking from a very small sample set of like 5 courses that I took, out of which I probably like just about 1 or 2. But in general, I feel like for a business school which is that acclaimed, I had a little higher expectation about how well people would be teaching and how great the academics would be. And compared to what we do in India, it was not up to that level at all. Yeah.
I can totally relate with all of that you've said. Obviously, I could feel the diversity at ESCP. So, yeah. Okay. Now, my favorite question. How many countries did you travel to under the exchange program of IIM Ahmedabad?
So I traveled to 18 countries. There were
Wow.
a few small ones also, like Vatican and Luxembourg or whatever. But in general, there were a lot of large countries also, like Switzerland and Italy and, Netherlands, Belgium, all of these. So yeah, I think it was a very, very great experience of seeing so many different countries and so many different cultures, and just, I don't think we'll ever get that experience again.
Can you name all the countries that you have been to under
Oh
the exchange
God,
program?
18 countries.
Yeah, let's try that.
Okay, let me try. France, Italy, Netherlands, Belgium, um, Croatia, Hungary, Austria, Prague, Luxembourg, uh, Vatican City, Monaco. We've done 11, I think, till
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
Let me think of more.
Italy.
Spain, Portugal. I think I mentioned Italy. Spain, Portugal, Norway, Iceland. We're very close. I think Greece, which is now we've reached 16, and
You have
oh my
not
God.
mentioned Switzerland.
Oh yeah, Switzerland. That was my first trip actually. Switzerland was my first trip in Europe.
Okay.
So, oh, Slovakia.
Oh,
It
yes.
was a really small, we did like a day trip to Slovakia. So yeah,
That's great.
18.
Nice. Nice to know that. Great. That was fun. Okay. What has been your proudest achievement so far and why?
Okay. So hands down, I think my proudest achievement was the whole completing MBBS, becoming a doctor thing. You work very hard for very long, and then MBBS is a very rigorous course, and it happens very early on in your life. Like MBA, usually we come on when we're much older, but when you're like 18, 19, it's so much to handle, and it's not just physically taxing, it's very emotionally, mentally taxing also, because you are exposed to a world of, like, I just don't want to sugarcoat it, of misery and of a lot of suffering, basically. So to get through all of that, to get through the study of it, to actually get through the emotional component of it is not easy. So I think proudest moment, I think for me, was specifically when we took that oath after we had finished everything, after we had gone through our 1 year long, very, very intense internship, which has like 24-hour shifts and night duties and, emergencies. The day that you take the oath that, now I will, whatever, no matter what happens, I am going to take care of every patient or XYZ. I think that was the proudest moment for me, for
Wow.
sure.
It's highly inspiring for me. Trust me, like I would love to be a doctor and take that oath, but now I've come to another path, so I can't. Maybe next life. Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Hmm. So I think this is something I struggle with today also, but I've become a little better. So I think the one piece of advice would be definitely to not care as much about what other people say. Specifically, feel like I've taken a journey after medicine, which not many people take, very few, honestly. Everybody goes and does a PG. So there's a lot that you hear also when you're going, ki, "Arey, what are you doing? You're wasting your degree." During MBBS, when I used to speak about it, people were like, no, you're just saying it for the sake of it. Eventually, you're going to do post graduation only and specialization hi karoge. And even during MBBS, I started my content creation journey as well. So I used to create content, but I didn't get a lot of support from my so-called friends or whoever was around me. Like, people were not very encouraging about it in general. And it has affected me all throughout. You start doubting yourself, you start doubting your decisions and what you're doing. And I think it doesn't matter, honestly, what people say. Like, what's more important is what you believe is right for you. And few people actually have your best interests at their heart, like your parents or your closest friends. If they are supportive of you and if they encourage you, I don't think you need to listen to the 100 other things that the people in the world say, because I mean, people are anyways going to say something or the other, whatever you do. And I have let it affect me for the longest time. You get disheartened. I've gotten very disappointed listening to people. So one thing which I would tell my younger self would be ki just do what your heart tells you to do. Don't think so much or don't care so much about what other people are telling you. It really doesn't matter.
Wow. I have no words for it, but it was hands down the best advice I would say. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, what advice would you give to students or young professionals aspiring to follow a similar path as yours?
So in terms of similar path, are we saying like medicine ke baad doing an MBA?
I would say in general doing an MBA from a top tier IIM.
Okay. So the first thing would be that you should know why you're doing an MBA. So just because everybody is doing an MBA, it doesn't mean that it's probably the right decision for you also to do an MBA, okay? If you feel like it will propel your career forward, the kind of options or opportunities that open up after an MBA are something that you're looking for, then great, go ahead. Secondly, I would say that it's not the easier way out or the easier journey by any means. The whole CAT preparation thing, the whole exam the interview process, it is not that easy. I mean, lakhs of students give it, very few get into the top colleges. So you actually need to have the kind of perseverance and the kind of determination to put in that hard work and, have that self-belief throughout the process that, I will carry on and I will go forward with it no matter what. And I think that kind of belief and perseverance also stems from knowing that this is the right path for you, because otherwise you're just giving it half-heartedly because you don't know what else to do in life. And I think apart from that, the last thing I would say is that MBA is, like, I would say it's one of those kind of degrees which is meant to open up your worldview, is what I would say in general. So I think the expectations regarding the degree should also be set right. So apart from the placement process, I used to always think that I'll come to an MBA and I'll understand how I should start my business and run my business. And it's not like that. Like, it's not a one-stop solution which gives you like every solution to every problem out there. It basically just expands your worldview. It shows you the 1,000 different ways in which you can approach a problem and actually think of a solution, or the ways in which you can actually see that there is a problem somewhere which another person did not find. So yeah, I think know why you're doing an MBA. If you decide to do an MBA, you should have the perseverance to follow it through. And third, you should have the right expectations out of the degree.
Thank you so much for giving such a bulleted answer. That helps our viewers a lot in learning why to do an MBA, because many students I've seen who are just doing MBA for the sake of the society or their parents. They don't have an agenda for doing an MBA. But I guess if you do have an agenda, then yes, you would take maximum out of it. And at the end, you're paying a hefty fees. You do have to get an ROI out of it, more than a job itself. So yeah. Okay. In your opinion, is it beneficial to do an MBA after MBBS or BDS, considering 2 additional years of academics?
So I wouldn't say it's 2 additional years of academics, because after MBBS or BDS, most people would go ahead and do a post-graduation, which would be 3 years anyways. So it's actually lesser than that. But again, similar to what I answered previously, it is beneficial to do an MBA after medicine if you know your long-term vision of doing an MBA. Like, if you don't like clinical fields, you want to switch, I get it. MBA is one of the top things which comes to anybody's mind. If you want to switch your field, be it an engineer, be it a CA, it's really easy to pivot using an MBA. But today, after medicine also, there are a lot of other opportunities available to switch from clinical branches apart from an MBA. So maybe you should explore that. You could do like content writing, you could do some research. There are so many other things. So the thing before deciding to do an MBA would be to understand your long-term vision of why you really want to do an MBA after MBBS or BDS. Because like I tell a lot of people who reach out to me even today, because there are very few people who actually do this, that once you switch to an MBA, it's very difficult to come back to medicine. If you're very unsure, if you don't know, maybe take a drop year, or like if you feel like you really like a post-graduation branch, do it. Because you can give an MBA entrance even after doing post-graduation. I have a doctor in my junior batch who is an orthopedic surgeon and who has now come to IIM Ahmedabad, who is doing his MBA. So you can switch even after post-graduation and do an MBA if you feel like this isn't for me. But once you decide to do an MBA, you cannot go back to a practicing doctor. I would not say that your whole medicine degree is wasted. I completely disagree with that, because all of the soft skills you learn from it, apart from your entire depth of knowledge about the healthcare industry, definitely helps you. But you can't go back to practicing medicine after doing an MBA. So I think my advice again would be to just, introspect and reflect. And then, of course, if you decide to do it, then you should also reach out to people who have taken this plunge to ask them about their experience, because they would have something interesting and something unique to actually share with you from actually having gone through the process.
Okay. I hope people who are right now in their medical field studying there and looking to switch into management, I hope they get some insights out of it. So thanks for that. And the last question, where can our viewers find you or learn more about your work?
So I have my two main social media channels or accounts or whatever. So on Instagram also by the name of Aradhita Maheshwari, and similarly on YouTube. The content initially when I started out, I started content creation because during medicine I felt like my creativity was not finding an outlet, and I have learned dance and I sing and I needed things to actually just, let my creativity out. So I started these things to make videos about dance and music. But now, as I've evolved as a person over all of these years, there's a lot of content on both of them about my journey, my life, daily life, whatever. And yeah, you can learn more about me over there, of course. And if you have any doubts, maybe I think LinkedIn also, you can reach out to me with any specific questions, and I try my best usually to answer them on LinkedIn or on my email, which you will find somewhere on some social media. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Radhita. Your insights, I'm sure, would be of great help to our viewers, especially aspiring students who are looking to transform their career from maybe medical field to management side. And it's really motivational. It's really inspiring as to how you have transformed your journey and you have went to international levels as well for studying MBA. So thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
Radhita.
you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.